Hello, my lovely Libras, and welcome to Soulsake Tarot. My name is Christina, and I'm going to be doing your general read for the upcoming month of January 2021. Happy New Year. Hope y'all are doing well. Let's see what we can get here for my Libras for January of 2021. The Venom. I feel like the last read that I did for y'all was like the Village. And my microphone is like hella far away, and I have my window open, so hopefully it's not too noisy. Anyways, the last read that I did was about the Village. And just kind of like the Village not really wanting you to rise above it, you know. And then we had the Queen and the Ring pop out. The Riddle. Agape. The Crone. Oof. Sorry. It's a lot. Okay. Okay. Well, like I said, the Venom. And then we have, I want to say the Queen and the Crone. The Riddle and Agape. Sorry, I'm trying to lay them in like some form or fashion here. The Pilgrim, the One, the Ring, and the Sustainer. Okay. You know, kind of keeping in context with the idea of the Village, and I want to say a relationship, gender neutral, but you know, I know that you guys over the course of, you know, the past year of 2020 have just kind of had this person who has been in and out of your life, who, you know, you keep in touch with, or in some cases just keep track of, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's that idea that there's been this person, and I almost want to say, like at this moment in time, the Venom is you, but you in the context of the Village, because there's an element of moving on. Okay, sorry, I'm just like processing. Okay, so the Pilgrim and the Venom. I mean, you know, the Pilgrim is kind of that, like, that traveler's card, the vagabond, and I almost want to say that you are moving away from the Venom of the Village, that you are, you know, figuring it all out, and moving in a direction that takes you away from a venomous environment, and honestly, Leaves, I feel like you'll find that once you've removed yourself from that venomous environment, that you're also moving away from the effects. I mean, you know, cause and effect. Yeah. I mean, if you stick yourself in a bunch of nasty, you're going to be covered in a bunch of nasty, and that's just how it is. And I feel like there's almost like this idea of immunity, you know, like you had been in it for a while, you know, like the Venom had become a comfortable a place of existence for you. I almost want to say in the last read that it was that idea of like you guys were almost kind of like the ones who were the leader of the pack, and now, you know, like the pack is dispersed, and in doing that and in moving away from it, it's almost like this, like a spiritual cleansing, you know? I mean, like if you're around nasty all the time, you're nasty. That's just all there is to it. But if you remove the nasty and you can kind of come back into, you know, who you are and what is it, you know, that you want outside of that spectrum, then a lot of the nasty kind of gets washed away. And I think in the process of that, you know, I want to say that next is the riddle, agape, and the crone. And it's almost this idea that in moving away from the environment that you had been in, there's, you know, an illumination that's kind of solving this riddle, this riddled mentality that you've been existing in, I want to say, you know, just kind of like feeling like there was no way for you to win. Almost like you were battling, like you weren't just battling that person, like you were battling the people in your life. And I want to say that I feel like it had a lot of influence on you, and that, you know, it affected a lot of the decisions you made and a lot of the behaviors that you had. And now that you're kind of coming out of that environment, you're coming into an understanding, you know, an illuminated truth. And I feel like there's almost this idea of like, you're not even surprised by it. Like a hair in my eye. You know, like it's almost this idea of like you knew what was going on. Like you had almost like this rose-colored glasses on toward it because you were in charge of it. And you knew what was going on. And so you're not surprised that any of this turned out the way that it did. You're just kind of pissed. There, I said that. And then you have the Queen and the One. And Libra, I want to say that and the Sustainer and the Ring. I want to say that you are coming in as the Sustainer to this person who you previously I won't say previously. It doesn't have to be previously. It could be someone new even. I just kind of get the feeling that with the circumstances at hand, it's not someone new, but you know, take it how it resonates. But that you're coming to this person and you're wanting to sustain a relationship with them, you know, like high level commitment. I mean, the Ring and the One, the Sustainer, it's almost as though you're like you're coming in with this like full disclosure, almost is the idea, because of the riddle and the agape, and it's just kind of like this illuminated truth about how you had been kind of in the middle of, or a participant in the creator of confusion, because that was just your mode of operandum. But that in moving away from that, you're wanting to move toward sustaining something with, you know, this person in your life. And the Queen, you know, the idea of the card of the Queen is, the king is like the decider and the seal of approval, and the queen is the expression of the king. And so, it's that idea that almost, like the queen has to be the one to like represent. And so, like to take that idea of, like the queen being the neck that turns the head in the direction that it needs to go. Oftentimes that's because that's like the mask that the queen wears, like, bitch, I'm representing myself too, like, I'm not trying to be covered in venom. But it's that idea, that I think that you, like, this person is somebody who you have respect for, that has been kind of caught up in the venom and the confusion and the nasty, but that was yours. And it's almost as though whatever has occurred in the village, that you're moving away from is forcing you to kind of recognize the fact that, okay, like, if you don't want to exist in a village, then you need to exist in a kingdom. Is kind of what I want to say. So let's see what else we can get here for my leaves for January of 2021. Okay, yeah, so same storyline again. The Three of Swords and the Nine of Wands. Just, it's that idea of being swept up in a venomous environment, and as a result, behaving in a manner that was, like, da da da, venomous. Like, no surprise there. Right. You know this. No surprise there. And I want to say that this person, or you, I take it how it resonates. I feel like sometimes these reads get confusing because there's just like Libra energy, like I'm trying to like find the balance. But anyways, either you've pulled away from this person, this person has pulled away from you, in terms of like this like constant back and forth that you guys have had. And so you have the Queen of Swords and the Hermit, and it's just kind of that idea of them being like, listen, like, I can't, there's nothing I can do with this. Like, and then you coming in as the Hierophant, and it's almost that idea of like, I want to say just kind of this revelation, this understanding, like a real life understanding. Like, you finally got out of the nasty enough to, like, wipe yourself down and like take a really good look at like what it is that you were doing, the behaviors that you were exhibiting, and why you were exhibiting those, and what it was that was, I almost want to say, like, protecting you from any accountability for your behavior. And in that protection, it was almost like this protective bubble of nasty, like, you can get away with being nasty as long as you, like, as long as you've got me. And then when that disappeared, you realize that's not going to really get you anywhere in the end. And the Nine of Cups is at the bottom of the deck, and I feel like leaves again. That's you, in a really big way, because it's like you're just like not skipping a beat. You're like, okay, bye. Like, on to bigger and better things. Like, I feel like you aren't really, I mean, you have the strength as well. So, I mean, you know, it could be that you're finding the strength to do it, but honestly, in coming into this truth, I mean, with the Hierophant, the Crone, and Agape, you know, all of those are cards of wisdom and recognition, and you know, just kind of like this awakening of understanding and truth. And so, it seems like you're really just, I think, moving forward with an element of strength. It's not even that idea. I mean, in the card, it's kind of the idea of like wrestling strength, but I don't even feel like you're wrestling it. I feel like you're just almost like reaching out and taking it off the shelf is what I want to say. You're like, I got plenty of strength right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab it and go on my merry way. And then you have the King of Cups, and you know, that seems to fit in the Knight of Cups, and it seems to fit perfectly with this idea of, you know, the one, the ring, the sustainer, and the queen. You know, kind of this idea of going and taking this love offering, because you know, it's almost like this, like I can sit around and feel sorry for myself, or I can go and like do that next thing, you know, because that's what you've got. And then you have the Ace of Pentacles, which is a new beginning, typically new financial beginning, you know, like a new endeavor that you are embarking on. And then you have the Magician, which is kind of creating something out of nothing, you know, like there was not, and then there was. So it seems like, you know, you guys are really kind of coming into this huge transition coming into 2021. And you know, you've got the Venom, you have the Five of Swords as well, and I think that this is just kind of the idea that you know, there might be a little bit of resistance, you know, like through this process, whether that's through the village, whether that's through the relationship that you're wanting to move toward, or whether that's even with yourself, you know, or a combination of them all. I don't know. But honestly, Libra, I get the idea that you're just kind of like, you're not being swept up in the nasty. You're not being swept up in the, you know, like this idea that you're supposed to sit around feeling sorry for yourself, you know, or like mourning it. It's almost like you're like, okay, I'm done. And then going off and doing you and being okay on your own. But like with this illuminated idea of who you are and why you've made decisions that you've made. I don't know. I feel like I'm just saying the same thing over and over again, which, you know, is just confirmations, I guess, of the message. So I hope this resonates with y'all, and that you have a fantastic month. And thank you so much for spending some time with me, and I'll see y'all again next week. Bye.